So I was kind of scrolling through social media yesterday and I ran into a live chat, and the conversation was, well, the title of the chat was um, Women That Have Had Children with a Married Man. Those children are not a priority, and basically, those children are like, I guess, devil spawn, sinner, evildoers. The conversation was, it was wild. It was basically heartbreaking to hear that us would be having a conversation about children and how they're supposed to, I guess, carry the sins of their mothers and their fathers. So you're blaming children for the way that they happen to have been conceived, and the man doesn't get any accountability for having the affair. He just basically gets to walk away with a slap on the wrist. So the fact that there is a conversation on social media now that is saying that children that are born from the man who is married, he's the one having the affair with the other woman. But because this woman decided to, you know, do something she had no business doing in the first place. Yes, I agree with that. That's 100% wrong. However, once the child comes into play, it's not about the adults anymore. And the reason why this particular conversation struck me to my core is because, wait for it, I'm one of those children. Yes, I am. That is exactly how I was conceived. My mother and father were not married, and my father was married to someone else. So even though I'm almost a 50-year-old grown woman at this point, with that logic, when I was a child, when I was first born, January 4th, 1976, already I was not important to this man. I was not that important as his other children. I was not a priority, excuse me. The title was The Child is Not a Priority. So I was not a priority at birth to this man with this logic that happened on this conversation. So he had no priority to take care of me, even though he helped to create me, even though he wasn't married to my mother, he was married to someone else. And not only was he not obligated to take care of me, he also wasn't obligated to take care of my siblings either, because they didn't stop at me and I wasn't the first one. So, not only that, I'm also supposed to be looked at as, I don't know, Damien. I don't know. I'm supposed to be spitting pea soup, I guess. I'm supposed to be some evil person based on the way that my parents decided to conceive me. And if this is what Christianity is saying to black folks, or this is how black people are interpreting, I don't even know if this is biblical. There was like no Bible verses. It sounds biblical, but it also sounds like maybe one of the women possibly could have been in a situation where her husband had an affair and got another woman pregnant, and now she's trying to basically convince herself that this child is not a priority. Not quite sure. I left the chat, but I stayed and I made a couple comments on the chat about it. I didn't really go into, this conversation was really directed at me like firsthand. I was just kind of like, you don't blame children for what their parents did. I'm not going to carry my parents' sins to my grave. Like, I don't even believe in the proverbial heaven or hell. So what are we talking about here? The way that my parents decided to bring me into this world, that's on them. That had nothing to do with me. But anyway, I just thought that I would get on here and share this. It's despicable. Like, I draw the line at attacking kids. Like, I have a couple of lines that I draw. Attacking kids because of the way that they were conceived. If that's not from the pits of hell, I don't know what is. But anyway, I want to know, am I the only one that was conceived in that manner? And have you ever heard, or is there conversations now about the fact that the child is not a priority, and then also this child is like an evil doer? Like, we're all born into sin, correct? So if you want to get biblical with it, why don't we talk about let he that is without sin cast the first stone? I mean, you're casting the stone on a child, an innocent child. And yeah, I clearly grew up to be a upstanding, responsible, law-abiding adult, even though the circumstances that I was created are not ideal, but that doesn't make me any less of a person. And it most certainly doesn't give my dad, or any man for that matter, a pass, because now you can just say because that child is not a priority, that gives this man the right to not be in this child's life, to not go to birthday parties, to not do anything with this child, and the man just gets to walk away scot-free. Like, what are we telling people here? First of all, what are we telling children that are actually born under these circumstances? What are we telling them? And another thing is, what are we saying to men? How much lower, I guess I should say, how much lower does a man have to go? If you're giving a man a pass or not holding him responsible for conceiving children, and he's already married and the children are by another woman, if he just gets to keep doing that, what are we saying here? What? It doesn't make any sense. And all it does is make men, specifically black men, and yeah, I said it, look even worse on paper than you all already are. Like, surely I hope that this is just an isolated incident, but I'm afraid, because the fact that this conversation came up in the first place tells me that this is perhaps the thought process of black people, some black people, I guess I should say, when it comes to children that were born under these circumstances. So I just thought I would get on here and share that, because it is disturbing, and it was directly talking about me. And that's probably what hit so hard. Like, wait a minute, this is my life. I'm a real living, breathing, walking, talking human being here. And for that to be a conversation amongst black people under the guise of religion tells me a couple of things. One thing is that black people are so inundated with religion that their logic, their common sense, their right from wrong, their moral compass, if you will, somehow just goes out the window. There's no rhyme or reason to what black folks will say and use Christianity as a way to try to push the agenda. Like, it's just embarrassing. So anyway, I do want to hear if anybody else is out there like me. You are worthy. If I need to tell you that there is nothing wrong with you, don't let anybody make you feel bad about the way that you were conceived. You had zero to do with that. It doesn't matter how you got here. What matters is what you do with the time that you do have here. So if you needed to hear that today, then let me be the one to tell you. But I do want to hear in the comments if you all have heard anything so ridiculous of this, or if anybody has ever made you feel bad because you were born under the same circumstances. So anyway, guys, I hope you do have a good rest of your day, and I will be in touch soon. Bye.